Rosh Chodesh Av, everyone. Today marks the first day of Rosh Chodesh Av. With every new Jewish month, it begins a new cycle, and with each month there's a certain theme, a certain idea that is attached that we can take a lesson from and bring that as part of the way that we go about our month. This month is one that is actually filled with a lot of tragedy and a lot of mourning for the Jewish people. In 9 days, we will be fasting for Tisha B'Av. It marks the destruction of the two temples thousands of years ago. It's a time of great tragedy, of great sorrow and mourning for the Jewish people. And in light of that, it brings the theme of this month to one of tragedy and one of distress. There's an incredibly interesting approach to tragedy that we see coming out of this month. It's really easy in times of difficulty for us to consider that big question of why. Why is this happening to me? And in doing that, we can often get really bogged down by the situation, and it's really difficult for us to actually get out of that. Rav Soloveitchik, an incredible modern Orthodox rabbi, talks about this notion of tragedy, but instead of focusing on the why, he brings us a really interesting way of approaching it. He tells us instead to focus on the what. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do next? What are we going to take away from the difficulty that we are facing? And I think especially in the times that we're living in, just in the past year alone, we've seen bushfires, we've seen COVID-19, we've seen the rise of massive political movements around the world that have stemmed out of other tragedies that have happened. It's been an extraordinary year for us. And it's really easy in this time, in a very difficult time, for us to sit down and say, well, why is this happening? And get really bogged down by it. But I think an important lesson that we can take away from this time of Av is to listen to what Rav Soloveitchik is saying. Instead of focusing on that why, let's follow that incredibly powerful Jewish approach to tragedy and focus on the what. What are we going to do with the situation that we're in? What are we going to do about the bushfires? What are we going to do about COVID-19? What are we going to do to support the lives of so many around the world that are still not seeing the kind of equality that we all wish would be a part of our society? And if we can take that idea and bring that into the month of Av, all of a sudden this month of tragedy and month of distress and difficulty for our nation can possibly become also a month of looking to the future and looking at what we can do to make the best of a bad situation. And I think that really embodies everything that the month of Av brings us. So I hope you guys have a really powerful, a really meaningful month ahead, and we hope to see you guys back on campus really soon.